Good afternoon students, welcome to the online class of Biology for Engineers. In today's class, we'll continue with the Unit 3, Genetics and Evolution. In the Unit 3, the topic what we will be discussing in today's class is nucleic acids as genetic material. Nucleic acids as a genetic material. The two types of nucleic acids what we will be studying is, here you can say the first one is DNA and the second one is RNA. Full form of DNA is deoxyribonucleic acids and RNA is ribonucleic acids. DNA, it is found in all living cells. It is the main component which is helping in transmission of genetic information for the development and also for functioning of all the living organisms. It is the large information containing macromolecules which we found in all the living cells. They are mostly found in the nucleus. On the chromosomes you can see the DNA. First type of nucleic acid what we are studying here is the DNA, deoxyribonucleic acids. DNA, you can see here the diagram. It is a double-stranded molecule, two strands which are anti-parallel to one another. You can see in the diagram. The nitrogen bases what you can see in the DNA double helical structure is A here is adenine, T here is thymine, G here is guanine, C here is cytosine, S is the sugar, P is the phosphate group. The four different nitrogen bases what you can see in the DNA double helical structure in the strands of the DNA is adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine. These four nitrogen bases you can find in the DNA structure: adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine. ATGC. This is the diagrammatic representation of the structure of DNA. DNA, the sugar is the S here, P is the phosphate group present. Sugar is a pentose sugar which we see in the DNA molecule, and coming to the structure of DNA, the two strands of DNA are twisted around one another. So you can see a twisted ladder shape of the DNA. The two strands of the DNA are twisted around one another in the form of a twisted ladder. The nitrogen bases are joined with the help of the sugars and the phosphate groups. The two chains are anti-parallel. Anti-parallel here is they run in opposite direction. The two strands are anti-parallel running in opposite direction. The two chains of this are joined together by the hydrogen bonds. In between adenine and thymine, the bond which is found here is the hydrogen bond. Between adenine and thymine we see 2 hydrogen bonds, and between guanine and cytosine you can see here 3 hydrogen bonds. So the 2 chains are joined together by 2 hydrogen bonds between adenine and thymine and 3 hydrogen bonds between guanine and cytosine. Always you can see here A is pairing only with T and G will pair only with C. Adenine will always pair up with thymine with only 2 hydrogen bonds, and cytosine will always pair up with guanine will always pair up with cytosine with 3 hydrogen bonds. So we call this as complementarity. Complementarity seen in the DNA because A is pairing with T, G is pairing with C. Adenine is pairing with 2 hydrogen bonds, double hydrogen bonds with thymine. Guanine is paired with 3 hydrogen bonds. Between guanine and cytosine we see these lines are the hydrogen bonds, dotted lines, hydrogen bonds, 3 lines, 3 hydrogen bonds, 2 lines, 2 hydrogen bonds. So hydrogen bonding between cytosine, adenine, thymine and guanine, the nitrogen bases, the nucleotides of the DNA, is seen in the 2 strands of the DNA, which is the genetic material. One of the 2 strands, you can see here 2 strands of the DNA. Of this, one of the strand of DNA will contain the genetic information which will get carried from the parents to the offsprings. One of the 2 strands of DNA which is containing the genetic information, that strand of DNA we call it as template strand or the coding strand or sense strand. Template strand we call, or we also call it as coding strand, or we can also call it as sense strand. And the other strand of the 2 strands of DNA, the other strand we call it as non-coding strand or antisense strand. This double helical structure was proposed by, as you know, Watson and Crick. James Watson and Francis Crick, and they got Nobel Prize for proposing this structure of the DNA. So differences between DNA and RNA. Differences and similarities between DNA and RNA you can see in the table here. In the DNA we find thymine, adenine, guanine, cytosine. But thymine will not be seen in RNA. It is only seen in DNA. In RNA we see uracil. Uracil is only found in RNA, and uracil we can't see in DNA. This adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, uracil are the nitrogen bases. So nitrogen base which we see in the structure of DNA and RNA are this. Thymine will be absent in RNA, it is present only in DNA. Uracil will be absent in DNA, it is present only in RNA. The nitrogen bases which we find in both DNA and RNA are adenine, guanine and cytosine. The sugars in RNA is a ribose sugar, a pentose sugar, ribose sugar, and sugar in the DNA we find is 2-deoxyribose sugar, and phosphate group we find in both DNA and RNA. Coming to the classification of RNA, the 4 nitrogen bases in RNA are adenine, guanine, cytosine and uracil. Thymine will be absent in RNA. Ribose sugar and phosphate backbone will be present in the RNA. It is very important. RNA is important genetic material. Types of RNA, what we see here is, first one is information RNA. Informational RNA, we also call it as messenger RNAs or mRNA. Functional RNA is the other type of RNA. In functional RNA we have 3 types: tRNA, rRNA, snRNA. tRNA is transfer RNA, rRNA is ribosomal RNA, snRNA is small nuclear RNA. The different types of RNAs. The structure of tRNA, which is one of the type of functional RNAs, is this one. The structure of tRNA. RNA, this type of RNA has a very important role in bringing the amino acids, bringing the amino acids to the ribosomes for the process of protein synthesis. Amino acids will help in the process of protein synthesis on the ribosome structure by the help of the tRNA. tRNA are these small molecules which is bringing the amino acid, correct amino acids to the ribosomes. Ribosomes are the cell organelles which we have studied in the unit 1. Ribosomes, cell organelles, which is helping in the protein synthesis. So correct amino acids will be brought to the ribosome by the help of the tRNA for the process of protein synthesis. This is the structure of tRNA, transfer RNA. It is having this DHU loop, dihydrouridine loop. DHU is dihydrouridine loop, DHU loop, or the arm, one of the arms of the tRNA. We have here DHU arm, T psi C arm or the loop, DHU loop, T psi C loop. Another loop or the arm is the anticodon loop or the anticodon arms of the, these are the different arms of the tRNA which is carrying out different functions, having the base pairs, nitrogen bases, what we have discussed. The nitrogen bases present in the tRNA bases, nitrogen bases, what is present in the tRNA is adenine, guanine, cytosine, uracil. Thymine will be absent in RNA. Uracil will be present in RNA, the nitrogen bases. So all these are the different arms or the loops of the tRNA. Amino acid arm is the place where the amino acids will be forming the covalent bond with the tRNA. This one. This is the structure of tRNA, having different arms or loops with the nitrogen bases. Next we have central dogma of molecular biology. Central dogma of molecular biology will consist of three processes. First one is replication, second one is transcription, third one is translation. Replication, transcription and translation. In the replication process, the two strands of DNA will get converted into single strand daughter DNAs. In the replication, the two strands of DNA will get converted to single strands of daughter DNA. Transcription. Next is transcription. Transcription is the process of synthesis of mRNA from the DNA within the nucleus of a cell. From the DNA, mRNA will be synthesized by the process of transcription. Then we have translation. Translation is the process of synthesis of proteins from mRNA. From mRNA, proteins will be synthesized by the process called translation at the ribosomes in the cell. So central dogma of molecular biology is this, the diagrammatic representation of central dogma of molecular biology, where you can see here the two strands are getting separated and one of the strand is forming the mRNA by the process of transcription, and from the mRNA proteins are produced, different proteins, methionine, isoleucine, serine. These are the amino acids which will combine and form the different proteins by the process of the translation. So this is the central dogma of molecular biology. First, the DNA will show the process of replication where the parental DNA molecule will gets converted into the identical two single-stranded daughter molecules. This is the basic process in all the living organisms for the production of the finally the proteins will be synthesized. So that's it for the today's class of unit 3 genetics and evolution. In next class we'll continue with the other topics of unit 3. So thank you students.